2012 starts the age of Aquarius. It's well marked on all kinds of calendars, not the least of which is the Mayan calendar, the sunstone. A lot of the ancient writers believed that there would be some cataclysm that occurred at that time. Many of us believe that it won't just occur on that day, that there will be precursor events, an increase in volcanoes, an increase in earthquakes and their intensity, fluctuations in the magnetic field around the Earth. One of the things that occurred last year in October was something that's never occurred before. We had 9 X-class flares. We have a scale that we measure solar flares on. X is the highest.
Look at
9
that,
flares
I told
in
you.
1 month. The peculiar thing was sunspot activity was very low.
The precursor events you're talking about, weather changes, earthquake fluctuations, storm intensities, these all seem to be occurring at a much more frequent rate as each year passes. It's unbelievable. The amount of storms and the amount of events that are happening every year seem to be escalating more than the year before. Let's say hypothetically, something is coming this way. Let's say it's coming now, and being very far away, it has a very slight gravitational effect on Earth. And each year that it gets closer, the gravitational effect on Earth is slightly greater than the year before. And that is directly or indirectly causing the increase in frequency and the increased intensity of storms, earthquakes, all sorts of weather anomalies around the planet. If that's the case, would it not stand to reason that Earth is not alone? Because we have other planets in the solar system. This thing would just naturally, it's not picking on Earth, it would affect all the inner planets.
And it does. Yes, several planets in the solar system are experiencing global warming as we speak. For instance, we've had a satellite going around Saturn now for 18...
Whoa. Hold on a minute. I didn't know there was cars on Mars, man. How the hell can that... I love how they get caught in their own lies.
...years. We've been making measurements of Saturn for 18 years. In those 18 years, the atmospheric pressure of Saturn has changed 30%. If that occurred on Earth, there'd be no life left. At one point, the North and South Pole were perfectly perpendicular to the Sun. That is to say, the Sun was right over the equator. The polar caps were very small. The Earth may have been at a temperature equilibrium because there's no winter and summer. There's no season change. But there was an event that occurred, probably cosmological event, that pulled the Earth around so that now the North Pole and South Pole lean toward the Sun. What's happening on the crust of the Earth is absolutely cataclysmic. Volcanoes and earthquakes and plate shifts and huge tidal waves. And we're talking about stacking the ocean up 4, 5, 6,000 feet in the air on one side of the planet.
Wouldn't an event like that, wipe out all life?
It almost did. It probably wiped out about 95% of life on the surface of the planet.
This event you're referring to, did this occur over millions of years, or was this a sudden event?
It's an interesting question. There's very little evidence that it would have occurred over millions or even billions of years. We have seen that these events occur suddenly in space. For instance, the Schumacher-Levy comet that struck Jupiter. It was discovered, it was named, and it hit Jupiter within a single man's lifetime.
So you're not talking about catastrophic disasters that happen, say, over decades. You're talking about disasters that happen within weeks or months. Major cataclysm, which literally wipe out all life.
Here's some evidence for Wormwood or Planet X or whatever you want to call it. It's called Wormwood, though, right in the Bible. Well, if it ain't the sun, it's this thing. Make up your mind for yourself.